What up, y'all? It's your boy, the one and only A Switch, aka the Honey Bun Hunter. AKA, why my pants so tight? Oh, AKA, is that a Twinkie or you just happy to see me? AKA the Komaki Tiger Dropper. AKA the Nigga Lil Master. Bringing you yet another episode of Switch Your Sights. Episode 188. Almost got it wrong. 188. Today's date is December 28th, 2023. Happy holidays. Hopefully you got to see Santa. He gave you that good stuff. Hopefully he wasn't smooching on, your mom, whatever, I don't know. The song saw mommy kissing Santa Claus. You just say, hey, why is Santa in between mom's legs? Whoa. Oh man. I'm clearly loopy as of today, but I digress. Yes. Damn. That threw me off track. I'm not even gonna lie. For those that don't know, Switch Your Sights podcast is a solo video game podcast where your boy, yours truly, A Switch, talks just about that. Damn. It is the last episode, the final episode of the year. Of the year. This train gonna keep going, baby. Yeah, at least just a note on just the crazy year that was 2023 for games specifically. Man, crazy year. Just there's no way to beat around the bush there. It's just like, it was a crazy ass year. It really was. Crazy ass year. But outside of that, this particular time, the weird lull between Christmas and New Year's, generally not much crazy going on, but nonetheless, that's why it's a perfect time to start talking about, or more or less recapping on the great year that was for video games in particular. Personally, that spoke to me, which is one of the biggest, shall I say, coveted components of this year, every year really, my top 10 games in 2023. So, you know what? Let's stop the dilly-dallying and get right into it. Let's get into them. Top 10 games of 2023. The top 10 games of 2023. Started off, which is kind of crazy now that I think about it, and considering the scale of everything. But number 10, probably how would I describe this game? It's like a very I don't know, like synonymous, salacious even. I'm just throwing out words that sound good at this point. But let me stop beating around the bush. Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2, thoroughly enjoyed it. I still need to replay it to mess with some of that added content that they did add. I think they added a new game plus, as well as a new ending. So I'm definitely gonna need to, I think, some new like additional notes and stuff like that as well. So definitely gonna have to give Alan Wake 2, well, one, another play, and two, why I had to give it to the number 10 spot. It's just very, very great storytelling. Really enjoyed the narrative, the method of storytelling. If you are a Twin Peaks slash very odd, I don't know, I have a hard time recommending, because more than likely you've not played it before, Alan Wake. But let's say hypothetically you played Alan Wake 2 really hyped up, and you want to play something similar, Deadly Premonition. Please, sir, may I interest you in Deadly Premonition? So yeah, Alan Wake 2, man, it just hit for me. It hit pretty greatly, you know. What was it? It's not a loop. It's a spiral. It's a spiral. I'm just going to leave that there. Number 10, Alan Wake 2. Number 9. I've been pretty dormant on this game for a good while. Series in general for a good while. I played the latest one in the entry, but I don't know. It was okay. Didn't really hit me, but until this one, which it hit me just right. And that is Super Mario Brothers Wonder, which was I heard a lot of good things about it. I'm like, you know what? It's been a minute. I do enjoy Mario. I've of course played like the various Mario games in the past. Most notably the Game Boy Color version of the original Super Mario Brothers, which was probably by far, I think till this day, is still the best version of the original Super Mario Brothers 1, with all the extra added things they added to like the original game with the Game Boy Color version. So that is why I would, because of the previous no, but Super Mario Brothers Wonder was really very unique. Like it and it's crazy to think, like, you know, for a series that's gone this long, to still have a lot of new fresh ideas, which I was very genuinely surprised by in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. That, like, man, like all these years and they still keep coming up with a lot of fresh new ideas. And mind you, like pretty much literally almost every level is like just new, fresh, crazy idea after the other, which I think is definitely what got me to still play through the whole game to the end. Still haven't done all the side stuff, but I thoroughly did enjoy the main core critical path experience so far. So that is why I put Super Mario Brothers Wonder at number 9. Number 8. Of course. Man, what do I say about this series? that just is well, that is not been said already. The series has had definitely some rough patches. Well, mainly the previous entry of said series, but this latest entry in the series definitely, I think, for sure, put the franchise on the map. Even though I think it was generally like consistent, but this for sure did bring it back. And that is Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 is very how would I describe it? Fun, of course. Balanced, which, for fighting games, that feels very difficult nowadays. Obviously, there are some characters that are, technically will have a more difficult learning curve / difficulty matching up with other certain players too. But I think for the most part, this is definitely probably the most balanced Street Fighter game in a long while. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, it feels like pretty much almost every character on the roster is, you can do something with. Of course, like I said already, it's some characters that'll be more difficult than others, but you can generally still hold your own, as well as, shouts out to the modern controls, which I feel like has also brought in a lot of otherwise non-existent Street Fighter players to actually play the game legitimately and consistently, which I think that in of itself should be given some merit as well, which is also a testament to the game's accessibility, where this game seemingly had like some of the biggest accessibility additions to any fighting game that I've seen so far, with the audio, the very distinct unique audio settings where you can literal blind person could pretty much play this game, which is crazy to see. And then of course, shouts out to the single player content, World Tour mode, which was, now that like the dust has settled for the most part, was a pretty fun mode. It maybe wasn't like 100% what I would have wanted for a single player Street Fighter game, but it was like pretty close. Like, at least it's like 80% there. It definitely, I feel like it could have taken some more liberties, and when it came to, like, I don't know, probably like going fully into the beat 'em up kind of beat 'em up vibe, considering that the mode is seemingly taking a lot of inspiration from Final Fight, considering that that series is acknowledged within the canon of Street Fighter. So, but yeah, overall, I was thoroughly enjoyed. I was it's probably the longest I've played an online mode in a good long time, since like Tekken or something. So I think that is a testament in of itself. But yeah, it's just the overall solid game. The new mechanics, the drive rush, and all that was very fun. So that is why I put Street Fighter 6 at number 8. Number 7. Man, what do I say about this game? What do I say? What do I even say? Where do I even start? First off, this is technically probably my first game that I've legit played within the series, which is at least a testament of itself, but also me consistently playing this said game, as well as for somebody who generally doesn't play these types of games as well. All combined, I feel adds to why I thoroughly enjoyed F099. F-Zero 99 is a very fun game. So basically, like the previous Nintendo 99ified Battle Royale-esque games, this is the latest edition, F-Zero 99. So basically, the F-Zero series, which is a pretty classic racing series that was like introduced along the SNES era in the early 90s, is basically the inspiration for this game, pretty much, where pretty much racing futuristic vehicles, but they put the modern battle royale spin to it now, where you're racing against 99 other people, which is not as messed up or like I don't know, prone to failure as you may possibly think it might be. It's actually very well designed, I'd say. And again, as somebody who generally doesn't go towards racing games like that, unless they're like more arcadey, which technically this falls under. So when you kind of think of it that way, I guess it does make sense that why I am playing it. But nonetheless, yeah, you're racing against 99 other people, and your goal is to get number one or close to it, which I've bitteringly to this day have yet to do. I'm not bitter about it at all. I'm all right. It's okay. One of these days, when all the real people leave and then it's just bots, and I get that number one spot, that'll be the day. So, but the fact that I still want to keep going and try to get better as a player, I think is also a testament to F-Zero 99. And it does have that very engaging risk reward mentality in this game's mechanics, where you are incentivized to KO your other players, which is, I think, a new addition to F-Zero in general. Maybe not in general, but at least for this game, where if you do KO a person where pretty much their health is low, and you knock them out, you get a huge boost to your maximum boost. So your boost is like your health and your boost. So they basically share one bar, and that's the risk and reward, because you can keep boosting all you want, but it's going to get to a point where your health is going to be in danger, and if you get hit once, then you're out of the race. So a lot of fun dynamics that I thoroughly enjoyed, as well as the online multiplayer aspect and progression, like getting all the various new skins for your various cars that you race with, and the whole rivalry mechanic where if you beat these random players that you're pitted against, quote unquote, you rank up in points and stuff like that, which kind of is like not very much necessary, but makes it more fun and kind of gives you more stakes to kind of strive towards in a way. So yeah, man, I can't recommend it enough. It's free. Well, quote unquote, it's free if you have a Nintendo Online subscription for the Nintendo Switch. But man, it's free. It's a fun time. It's always it's one of the latest games where I'm just like, let me get one more in. Let me just get one more in. Let me just get one more. Which I think is just again a testament to how fun the game is. I'm gonna be very sad if this ever is retired, which unfortunately, going by the past 99 S games, is pretty much going to happen at some point. So part of me also wants to play for that aspect too. So that is why I put F-Zero 99 at number 7. Number 6. My history with the series is very long. Very long and shall I say, I don't know, part of me want to say ceremonial, but established. Yeah, I like that. Established. This was a game in the series I I technically did play. I played before it came out in the U.S. But now that it did officially come to the U.S., I was like, let me give it my full like time and attention and do everything because I kind of because it was in Japanese. I couldn't really understand story wise too much, but now I got another chance, and I'm so glad they did it. And that game is like a dragon ish. You gotta do the ish. I'm saying ishin as well for those that may not be able to pick that up. Like a dragon ishin. Man, I was very, very hyped when this got announced. Kind of crazy how, like, considering how long ago this originally came out in Japan. But damn, yeah, pretty much right around when the PS4 just released, like fairly close to when the PS4 released. I remember it vividly. But yeah, so shout out to KHH subs who was doing God's work and had a translation guide for you to understand what was going on in the story, since we did not get the game in the West at the time. But now, after some time is significant time has passed, and what was I gonna say? Yeah, significant time has passed, and now that the game is on PS5 as well now, which of course that was my platform of choice when it came to this, I was like, you know what? Let me go again. So that is what I did. I legit thoroughly went through the game, doing all the side stuff as well. And man, it is great. It is, of course, the tried and true Yakuza, formula, sub stories, random dudes trying to beat you up, but all set now within the feudal Japan era kind of setting, which was a nice kind of change of pace as somebody who's lately just been playing on the recent Yakuza games, and it's been a long time since I played Ishin, so now getting it properly done, translated, and all that stuff was a very fun experience. And of course, it has all the tried and true, staples of a Yakuza game in this as well. Just with the spin of the, using swords and guns as well, which is, a fun time, man. A fun time. Love me some Like a Dragon, aka Yakuza, but now Ishin. So that is why Like a Dragon Ishin is number 6. Number 5. Boy, I don't know what I was anticipating with this game. I will say, first and foremost, I was very apprehensive after initially seeing it. It took me a while after seeing some more thorough gameplay videos and stuff after, where I was really starting to get around it. Then, of course, after I finally got it, I was like, okay, this is legit. This is very legit. And that is Double Dragon Gaiden. Double Dragon Gaiden, of course, is somebody who's a big fan of the Double Dragon / Kunio-kun games. Really thoroughly enjoyed Double Dragon Gaiden. Like I was saying, the art style was I was very apprehensive, but in retrospect now, I do understand the vision that they were going for, and it's very fun. So, of course, the Double Dragon formula is tried and true for all things considered. But now there's like new characters they added. Like one of the more notable is what is his name? Uncle Majin, who's this dude with this riot shield, and he's like a grappler, and he's dope. And of course, Miriam, who now she has a rocket launcher and she has a handgun. So that's kind of her dynamic, where, it's a very unique spin on like, traditional fighting game, beat 'em up archetypes, where like now it's like a character that's more like specifically dedicated to zoning but in a beat 'em up form, which was very interesting, for me. And then of course you can unlock a lot of the, bosses and, characters you face against that, they're fun in of their own selves too. And also is pretty, light commitment. I think if you want to just do everything and, try to earn the currency to buy all the additional characters and music and stuff, overall probably like about 20 hours. But man, it is very worth it, I'd say. If you were a beat 'em up fan, this is definitely a must for 2023 that I at least personally thoroughly enjoyed. Love me some Double Dragon Gaiden. I love it. It's so great. So great. That is why Double Dragon Gaiden is number 5. Number 4. It was funny when I was ranking these. That I didn't intentionally like try to put this narrative this way, but it just ended up being that way. So surely enough, this game, again, within the same lineage of the games that are tried and true in my heart. This game is no different, and I thoroughly enjoyed as well. And also, considering the game is on the quote unquote smaller side, relatively speaking, to other games in the series, this was still like what 30 plus hour game that I had a hell of a fun time with. That game is Like a Dragon Gaiden. Year of the Gaiden. That's 2023 Year of the Gaiden. But yeah, Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, is the what shall I say, the transition between Yakuza 6 to Yakuza 7. So pretty much the explains the events of what happened to Kiryu between Yakuza 6 all the way to Yakuza 7. Technically touches a little bit after 7 and then also is leads up to Like a Dragon 8 Infinite Wealth coming in next year. So but yeah, it is a Yakuza game going back to the basics in terms of traditional Yakuza, that is before it became JRPG pretty much. Now, at least with this, it's going back to basics and going back to traditional beat 'em up style Yakuza, where you are Kiryu, aka Joyu, and he's going back through does he go? Yeah, I'm pretty sure go to Kamurocho Ochimaru. Might be butchering it, but going back to some of the classic places you've went. I want to say Yokohama. I could be wrong, but basically the one main area in Like a Dragon. What is it? Like a Dragon. Yakuza Like a Dragon, I think. Yeah. Like Yakuza 7, basically. So you visit those locales, and then of course, now Kiryu has the cool agent spin now, where he's got this what do they call it? The spider gadget or something, where it's like a whip. I guess apparently that's in his watch that he uses, for nefarious reasons. Got rocket shoes and explosive cigarettes, so he's like basically 007 Kiryu, which I very much dug. I thoroughly dug this spin on him, and that this is all within his new style, where he can do a lot of fun, cool stuff. Juggling people and whipping them and shit. It's great. It's great. I love it. I love it so much. as somebody who clearly is very biased and is a huge fan of Kiryu, this game definitely spoke to me on many of levels. And yeah, I was thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, has a lot of the tried and true Yakuza staples and, you know, Easter eggs and things like that I very much know and love and thoroughly enjoyed. So it took me back to, you know, the heydays of, you know, traditional Yakuza as well. So that is why. Not to mention, I forgot, it does also include like the demo for Yakuza 8 Infinite Well. So which Kiryu is going to be a main character in, where I guess it's Kiryu and Ichiban are sharing the spotlight, which is going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, basically a get hyped for Yakuza 8 kind of game, but also holds its own in terms of, like, you know, giving, you know, fans who missed the, you know, beat 'em up Yakuza a good excuse to you know, go back to that, which I hope they do. I hope they somehow, some way keep this going, and, you know, we still get like these games in between, like what's probably more than likely going to be like the JRPG turn-based games, and get these beat 'em up like side things in between. I'd be content with that. As long as we get these, I think personally I'd be satisfied. So that is why I put Like a Dragon Gaiden at number 4. Number 3. What is to be said about this game that has just not been said already? But of course, this is a solid, safe pick, of course, but in of its own self, it is great in many of ways. That is, of course, Spider-Man 2. I tried to put the New York accent. Spider-Man 2. I'm walking over here. I don't. As somebody who clearly has not been to New York, I'm just going, you know, bing bong. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. But nonetheless, Spider-Man 2, very fun. I really enjoyed it. You know, of course, the cinematic set pieces, Insomniac is always going to hit those out the park. The combat, the combat and progression of combat, you know, as you progress your ability trees and whatnot, are very fun. Swinging within New York, always a great time. And of course, now with the power of the PS5, that has come even more fully realized now, with more detail, a lot more crowd volume, so a lot of more random people on the street while you're swinging around, even though most of the time you are generally just swinging in the air, but still, nonetheless, a lot of cool traversal, additional traversal options. Now you have web wings, so which I guess it's funny. I've heard some people like have not really liked that as much, because like I just want to swing. I don't really want to fly, even though, you know, technically it does have its limitations in the same way of web swinging, but it definitely is a cool addition to add to the web swinging that I feel like is not too disruptive and makes sense, that I think Insomniac did balance right as well. Of course, the addition of Miles Morales himself being able to be playable alongside Peter Parker, which that in of itself is fantastic. Of course, we got Miles Morales in his own game, Miles Morales, but now him leading into Spider-Man 2 and like the whole dynamic between them two. How could I forget about what I like to call him unhinged Peter, which That's funny. It's just great in of itself because as you've seen in the trailers and stuff, like Peter at some point gets access to the Venom symbiote, and how could I forget? How could I forget Venom himself? I'm not gonna give away any in any way how all of that comes to be, but it is great. I will say that. I feel like they really did a good job of handling Venom as a character very well within this game. Um, they know. They know. I'm gonna just say that they know. They know what we want. They know what we want. They gave us what we wanted. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Um, yeah. Back to Unhinged Peter. So it's very funny playing through like when you're at said moment when Peter gets unhinged, and I'm curious how deep this goes, but at least a decent amount of time I played as Unhinged Peter because I was like, this is just fun. So I think a lot of his dialogue is changed when you play as Unhinged Peter versus like normal Peter, where he he's like, they'll be okay, just a little scratch, nothing will hurt them, various stuff like that. Well, he shouldn't have been in my way. It's like what is the best way to describe Unhinged Peter? Unhinged Peter is kind of like when when your mom don't give you what you want and you just get a little fussy because you don't get that's what Unhinged Peter felt like. And it was funny. It was very funny and entertaining, and of course made sense obviously within the symbiote influence, of course. But yes, all around very solid, very fun experience. Also, this cannot be praised enough. This game respects your time, which I think that goes very oftenly unnoticed, which some people like knock it for it, which I do not at all. I think this game was like the perfect length. It had a decent amount of side stuff, and mind you, the side stuff is optional, but it's a fun diversion to play that as well. But yeah, overall it just was everything was meticulous and was worthwhile. It didn't feel like really much was like I could do without this, or this felt grindy or whatever. So that is definitely why I put Spider-Man 2 at number 3. Also, shouts out to Howard. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I would mean if you play it. But I digress. Number 2. This game. It's funny. Until this game, I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of the series. I definitely played them all, but I think this one really solidified, I don't know, my enjoyment of the series. Technically, you could attribute it to the competitor, quote unquote, but I don't know. That game is Dead Space Remake, which, man, Dead Space, man, this game. Yeah, somebody who felt like, I don't know, the original Dead Space I was kind of lukewarm on, but I don't know, maybe it was just because time has passed and I'm like seeing this in a new light in a way. Well, in a lot of ways because of the technology and stuff like that. But in the additions they made, the graphical additions and all that. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this game. I literally played it twice. Like right after I finished it, I played it all over again, which is very rare for me, mind you. These are only like games unless I really like a game, that is when I would play it, replay it immediately after finishing it, which I think is just a testament to how great this game is. And partially it could be because of the because of the disappointment that was Callisto Protocol. That I think is in a weird way kind of what I wanted. That's the game I wanted this to be, kind of. But at least now, I don't know. Partially, just this game hitting like I wanted Callisto Protocol to hit in a way. I don't know. Maybe just bumped it up in a lot of ways, but in its own merit, though, it's a very fun game. Very very scary. Very suspenseful. Especially when you got the surround sound set up and all that. It's a very fun time. Yeah, I don't know, just the isolation, desolation, even just, just it being you. And then I feel like, the scares are randomized. I think there's some like kind of semi unique mechanic, kind of similar to like the director mechanic in Left 4 Dead, where not every time you play is the exact same. Where I feel like it's a little bit of that, where in particular the vents, like some enemies, of course, like if Resident Evil is taught us anything, going to the same, playing through the same game over again, you're gonna know, okay, this window is gonna break, a dog's gonna come out, so all right, I won't be scared because I'm prepared for it. But with this one, I think it's different because like I couldn't really predict where enemies would come, even playing it through a second time, mind you, almost immediately after beating it. So I don't know. It just goes, I think, a testament to how great the Dead Space is, and also the improvements they made to make the original better since the original. What am I saying? Make the original better since the original trilogy came out. So, implementing what they learned from the later games in the series, and now being able to kind of push that back into the original, which I think also added a lot to the benefit. Like the zero gravity navigation is way more better, I feel, now to do. Way more easier, way more streamlined to do overall, which again, another checkbox for Dead Space. So that is why Dead Space 2 is number 2. Number 1. I feel like it's been so long since this game has come out, which is technically true, considering when it did release. But I'm a sucker for this series. Well, yeah, 1, I'm a sucker for this series. 2, I'm a sucker for this game in particular. So when they remade it, of course, I was on it like some damn flies on what is the saying? Flies on something. Flies on white. Flies on sand, sticky paper. You get what I'm saying. But nonetheless, yeah, man. I thoroughly enjoyed the game. The only thing I will say, which is kind of still a testament to how great the game is, to be fair, is that I don't think it could surpass the original. We also didn't need this, but I did it. I do enjoy it, and obviously I enjoyed it very much, and that is why Resident Evil 4 Remake is number 1. I liked the additions they did. They did make a lot of improvements. They made a lot of improvements to issues I had with the original game. But in terms of the trade-off, I don't know. It's a different vibe. I'll say that. It's a different vibe from the original game, which of course is expected, and what they pretty much prepared us for the most part. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, I think just because the original is just resonates so for me way more, and nostalgia, as well as like it's literally my favorite game of all time. Yeah, it's hard to it's really hard to how would I say it? I don't know, like replace that. So I don't know. It just feels like something that it just is basically impossible. I feel like, which is why I would I didn't think we needed this. Maybe it later, but now I don't think we really needed it. But nonetheless, we got it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Just if I had a choice, I don't know. I'd still prefer to play the original, and that's just, I think, mainly for nostalgic reasons. But again, the fact that this is number one for me still clearly is a testament to how much I enjoyed this. I played it like what? I played it like on PC and PS5, combined probably like 8. Damn, no, actually probably 10 plus times. So I mean, again, a testament to still how great the game is. But of course, because it's a remake, you're directly comparing it to the original, which for me is just some little subtle things that just missed the mark for me in terms of it surpassing the original. Especially now, since the dust has settled, since April that it came out, and that we also got the Ada DLC a few couple months ago. That yeah, it's great. and it me talking about it negatively as it's number one is kind of telling in a way, but it's just I wanted it to be better than the original, but just certain things I just like for the original than the remake. But the remake is good too. It just does things differently that I'm not like, when I have a direct comparison, I'm like, I'd rather prefer this than that. But I don't know. It's a great game though, which is weird. It's like I'm sounded very conflicted, which I guess is legit. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think it's because I'm very passionate about this game in particular that I don't know. But now it's been some time since I've played it, since I played the hell out of it when it originally came out. No, I played the DLC, the Ada DLC. So part of me does kind of want to replay it again now that like dust is settled, and more specifically, like I think I've said it before, but at some point I definitely want to like I always do almost every year, replay the original and then play this like right after, which I think will give me a little bit more clarity, a little bit more clarity between the two, to like, I don't know, maybe more I don't know, explicitly express how I feel, even though I think I did when I when it came out, and I think I shared my initial impressions and stuff on Twitter and stuff like that. So there is that. But yeah, I mean, again, that is why RE4 Remake is number one. So there you have it, folks. My top 10 games of 2023. Again, my top 10 games of 2023. Probably the biggest concern note, I guess, Baldur's Gate 3, which I did start playing very slowly but surely, but um I didn't finish it. Don't really plan to finish it anytime soon, so that is why it did not make my list. So who knows? Probably at some point, like sometime next year, maybe I'll be like, damn it. Well, yep. Gonna be like, yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 should have been on my list, but no, it was one, a very big game, and two, I don't know, just it's a slow burn kind of game for me, at least. Considering, like, put 150 hours in this game or play like four, shorter games. Like, I don't know. Everybody, yes, you gotta play it. You gotta play it. You gotta play it. I don't know. I wonder. Part of me is curious if that's maybe partially why. Because, it's some games, some media in general where it's like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever since sliced bread. Oh my God, this is the second coming of Jesus with a dick. I don't. Why would you? Jesus already has one dick. I don't know where that came from. Whatever. That we'll just keep that as it is. But it just I don't know. It's like. Yeah, where it's like, now you're hyping it up too much. Where now I'm thinking like, where now I'm very critical. I think, and I think that is an important thing to always consider when it comes to, like, people telling you impressions about a game or whatever and stuff like that. That if you hype it up too much or play it down too much. Where, I think that also can, be come into play when it comes to, like, the speculation game and things like that. So something to consider, but nonetheless, yeah, that is probably the biggest question. Zelda, I'm still trying to catch up on Zelda. I've yet to, which is one of the notable things this year that I did actually, which I've been pushing back for the longest in terms of Zelda specifically. I have started to catch up on Zelda. I played the NES, played through the NES version of Zelda, and played Link to the Past. So, big redemptions for me, at least, somebody who has a very weird history with Zelda. Well, specifically, I've talked about it before on the podcast, but the story of my destroyed Zelda GBA Link to the Past that in a weird way tarnished and cursed my experience with Zelda for long times to come. But nonetheless, so I will say, just to touch on that quickly, they're okay. I don't know. I'm not too crazy about Zelda, to be honest. But I am still interested to see, like, like Ocarina of Time, stuff like that, like some of these very, very much highly revered games, to see, where do I see it myself, most importantly, like, where does that hit? But that's yet to be seen. So at least to touch on those are probably the biggest, like, concerning omissions. Like, are you even a gamer if you didn't play Tears of the Kingdom or Baldur's Gate 3? No, you know why. So, but yes, again, great year for gaming. Great year for gaming. Probably one of the best. Yeah, definitely, for sure, probably the top 5 years for gaming, for sure. Wholeheartedly agree. With that being said, let's move into the news for this episode. Probably the biggest, one of the biggest, at least for me. Damn, how do I even, the biggest, just most hurtful, sad news that came out was James McCaffrey, at least personally, who I know as the voice of Max Payne, passed away. Apparently due to a ongoing fight with cancer. And man, I was I was a wreck. Not even gonna lie. As somebody who thoroughly loves the Max Payne series in general, hearing James McCaffrey's like somber and like, you know, noir narration and storytelling throughout the, you know, the original trilogy, not to mention the other Remedy games like Control and what's the other one? Alan Wake 2. and Alan Wake. He was technically in Alan Wake as well. So yeah, man. Just hearing his narration. I don't know. It's like I just feel like you're not living if you you know, hearing James McCaffrey's voice narrating through Max Payne doesn't do anything to you. I don't know, man. It's just it's just so visceral and like, I don't know, bare knuckle and just I don't know, gritty. Just hard. I don't know. It's so good. It's so good. I definitely need to replay those at some point. But yeah, man, it was very sad, you know, especially now also considering that the remakes are officially in the works too. It's like now there's what are they going to do now? Are they going to just use his voice tracks from the original and maybe like do some like, I don't know, upscaling, uprising, if you will, of his voice tracks, or, you know, are they just going to completely just do a new voice, which I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Well, I guess we'd have to see that fully come to fruition for me to actually, you know, legitimately criticize it. But it just won't be the same, man. It really won't. It really won't, man. He was a legend in his own right, and you know, it's just the sentimental value, you know, growing up playing the games multiple times to his voice, and just it's just something about that narration. Of course, you know, the Max Payne, the comic panels, and Max Payne is a great game series. Definitely in my top 5 for sure. So that's why it hits. That's why this hit me very hard. It really did, man. It really, really did. It really did. It hurts. Still hurts. Still hurts. He was great. Yeah, man. Damn. But yeah, it's enough of me soaking over that. But you know, it sucks, man. Fuck cancer. Fuck it. Moving on. Insomniac was ransomware attacked, where basically pretty much they some hackers got into Insomniac's system and basically had them at ransom, where basically, hey, you pay us, I think, what, 2 million in Bitcoin or something like that, and we won't leak all your information on the internet. And they were like, no. And then that is what they did. I believe like about 1 terabyte, over 1 terabyte of data was leaked, which is very unfortunate. And you know, I do not condone, you know, the acts to leak something against, you know, a company's will. So let me just say that first and foremost. So I do feel for like an Insomniac in terms of, you know, the craziness that is this, and you know, literally getting your whole slate leaked specifically, which is, yeah, pretty messed up. So online, you can definitely look for yourself. I'm definitely not gonna necessarily reveal everything they revealed, or what that was leaked, just out of respect for, you know, the nature of this leak specifically. But at least some things that were notable in terms of, you know, bringing up was in particular the Wolverine game, which, you know, we all knew. But they did leak some of the video footage of the Wolverine game. And what do you know? A game that's currently in development that is in no way near done or ready to be shown to the public yet is rough. Huh. What a concept. How about that? And yeah, so and then on top of that, just the nerve and audacity that people have to criticize something that is not even ready to say, oh, this looks rough. This is a rough God of War wannabe game or whatever. I'm like, bruh, the game is not even gonna release nowhere near yet, but this not even supposed to be seen by you, but yet you're criticizing it in terms of the quality. Like, some people, man, that just, where's the brain cells? Where are the brain cells? I will never understand it, but I digress. So there was that. Then, also a Venom game that was at least supposedly, you know, in the works. That this would be before Wolverine. It seemed like it was a legit Venom game, which, hey, that in of itself I'm definitely looking forward to. A dedicated Venom game, sign me up. But yeah, those at least the ones I'll just, you know, confirm. But yeah, it's just all the other stuff is kind of messed up in terms like, yeah, that would have been a really dope surprise to, you know, be surprised about coming into it. So, but it's unfortunate. So, you know, in respect to what the nature of this leak in terms of being a ransomware hack, that, you know, out of respect of the leak, I will, yeah, that's all I reveal specifically for that. Which, some credit to, you know, like some of the developers and, more so the journalists that are, you know, taking that stand, which it kind of makes sense now in this day and age, when it comes to, you know, the nature of leaks and stuff. Cause like, I don't know, there's some leaks where it's like, was it really leaked, or did the company themselves like tell somebody that, oh, it's leaked, and then now it's like, oh, it's leaked, but nobody's really that wild about it. So, you know, there's always that factor too, but nonetheless, it was just weird that it was more so some other, like some particular companies where it's like, you know, hey, we'll leak all this and tell you every immense detail about it. But now, this company, I don't know, which I can see to an extent, because considering the nature of the leak, which I can see that point. So, you know, at least now it does provide perspective, at least now in terms when it comes to the nature of leaks. And, well, consider this technically, I mean, as a leak, but in terms of the nature of it being leaked, is not ethical. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a gray area for sure, where it's just, you know, like, where do you draw the line? Some people draw it here, some other people draw it there. So it is tough in that respect. But, you know, yeah, obviously, if you are very curious, you can, you know, sleuth the online internets and, you know, find the answers you're looking for. But in respect of Insomniac, in the nature of how this happened / went down, that is at least all I will, you know, reveal in, you know, terms of what transpired. But it was very horrible. Like, I think a lot of users, a lot of the employees' personal data was also involved in this leak. Well, I keep saying leak, but this hack. breach as well. So it's a very unfortunate. I do feel bad for Insomniac, because obviously just being able to reveal these would have been really dope. And that's the part personally I do dislike about leak culture, in this day and age, is that like it would have been, it's crazy to think like all the stuff that if it wasn't leaked to us, that we would be able to find out ourselves, So huh sucks. With that being said, that concludes all the news for this episode and for this year, for this year. It's crazy to say. It's crazy to say. Crazy to say. Let's get into what I've been playing, which is pretty much at least worthwhile talking about. Of course, I was playing games like Modern Warfare 3 and stuff, but nothing really significant to talk about of importance of any of those. So probably the biggest, most significant game, now thinking about it, I probably should have, this definitely could have been in my top 10 for sure in of itself. But, the whole nature of it being DLC and stuff, which I think I technically made exceptions for in the past, but I think because it was so recent, I don't know, just didn't come to my head. But now, after more time has passed and now that I've thought about it, it definitely very much could have been God of War Ragnarok Valhalla. So this was announced at the Game Awards as, mind you, free DLC. And when I tell you, somebody who's played through it like thoroughly, like I did, well, I guess there's some missing relics I gotta get by playing through it probably a couple more times, which again, a testament to how good the game is. And I kind of do want to play it again, kind of like in a of Hades vibe, which is technically probably the best mindset to think about this game. This DLC is pretty much God of War Ragnarok Hades, where pretty much the appeal, you're trying to roguelite or roguelike. I'd say rogue. Now I'm curious. I need to refresh my memory on the difference. Roguelite versus roguelike. Roguelike games take to heart, which makes them significantly more difficult than roguelites. That's just Google's just not being right there. Roguelites, on the other hand, favor short gameplay runs so that you can unlock skills and characters you need to finish the game. So I guess it's just shorter, but still has the same like essence. A roguelike usually takes the permadeath and random maps aspect, but lets you keep other stuff like unlocked items, money. Okay. So yeah. So that in of itself, I think, defines it being a roguelite. So yeah. So in that, by those definitions, yeah, this would be a roguelite specifically, which that makes sense. Because yes, there's a lot of those elements in here. But yeah, God of War Ragnarok Valhalla. Yeah, man, it is. Wow. It is. I was very impressed. I was very thoroughly impressed. Very thoroughly impressed. As in some context that probably will help too, is that I also played Hades a decent amount. Where to be fair with Hades, it got to a point where I was just like, all right, I'm kind of getting tired of playing this for like the 50th, probably like 30th time. So I'm just going to look up a YouTube video and see what happens. So I think that's pretty much what I ended up doing. But with this game, God of War, I don't know, just the combat, of course, the very fun combat that you know and love from the God of War Ragnarok main game is is back in here with some surprises. Boy, there is some surprises, man. Man, I don't want to spoil it because it is so good. But yes, man. Whew. I was not expecting it for some free DLC. I was like, my expectations were low, but boy, man, I was very much proven wrong, and I'm very glad to have been, because man, that is, yes, it's great. It's great. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna leave it to. But yeah, yes, I just always wanted to keep playing. I just always wanted to keep just another run, and yeah, man, it feels like they definitely very much heavily studied Hades for sure. In terms of, at least for my frame of reference for roguelite, where you do have the loopable short replaying like loop basically of the game, and then after you die each time you do come back, but you feel like you are progressing at the same time, which I think is always, well, I assume is the appeal of a roguelite, where you feel like that was disheartening, but I do feel like I'm getting a better understanding of each level and how to progress, and how to be more efficient and stuff like that, which yeah, man, yeah, Valhalla nails it very much so. Yeah. And then you, on top of that, you're also getting a lot of additional story elements to this game too, where this is post God of War Ragnarok, so you are getting a lot of interesting aspects to the after the events of Ragnarok, as well as also trying to close the book on the original God of War trilogy, within the Greek setting and stuff, Greek mythology. So, it is great. It is great. It's really good. It is really good. It's probably some of the best DLC I've played, man, in a good long while. I dare I say best DLC of the year for sure. Best DLC of the past 5 years, arguably, It's that good. If you're a fan of Ragnarok, I highly recommend it. You play through Ragnarok, highly recommend it. It's very good. Damn, dare I say, no, yeah, I think you're gonna miss out on a decent amount if you just because technically, I wouldn't recommend it. I really wouldn't recommend it if you could just buy Ragnarok and then just play this DLC, which I would not recommend. I feel like you're missing out on a lot of the game that is very good, mind you. Just getting the game to play this free DLC, no, you miss out on a lot. I highly recommend at least playing the main game for sure. But yeah, man, it's so good. It's so much stuff I technically want to talk about, but I don't want to spoil it because it's so good. I feel like that's a lot of the appeal of this DLC, is just a lot of surprises, and just some thorough good gameplay. Like, they introduce stakes, like the God of War gameplay has more stakes now, which does give it a different vibe. Like when I was playing through this DLC specifically, which is pretty dope. Yeah, man, it is really good. I want to play it. I want to play it again. I really do. It's funny. I did see an option where you can, for the DLC specifically, where you can reset all the progress. I'm like, why would you want to do that? But now, after I fully beat it, I'm like, you know what? Part of me kind of does want to do that at some point. Man, that's a clear testament to how great this DLC is. Because yeah, I am very much the picky type when it comes to like what I choose to want to replay and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's good. It's good. That's the best. That's the best thing I can tell you. It's really good. Yeah. It's funny. I was thinking about it like all this week and partially last week too. I'm like, man, I kind of want to play some more. I kind of want to play more of it, you know? That's probably good. Because now I'm like compelled to just keep replaying it like as an excuse to get all the relics, even though like I already got all the achievements for it. But like I want to kind of still play it again. Just some excuse to get me to keep playing it. Oh man, it's so good. Highly, 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 highly recommend it. I really should have. Now I'm kind of regretting. I should have put it in my top 10 for sure. I think this it definitely would have been the exception I would have made for sure. It's really good. It's so good. Whew. Yeah, now I'm in deep thought about it. Let me stop. But yes, with that being said, that concludes what I've been watching or playing. My bad. Yeah, nothing really notable watching wise, so that's why I've lately have not been going in that segment necessarily. But yeah. So with that being said, damn, I think that will conclude episode 188 of the Switches Site podcast. Last one for the year. No worries, I'll be back next year. Maybe take a little bit of a extended break. But yeah, again, if you did like what you heard or watched, feel free to like, rate, and subscribe on your favorite podcasting platforms. If you want to catch this recorded live, you can catch it on Twitch TV/SaySwitch. You can also catch video archives on YouTube.com/SaySwitch. And yeah, until next time, y'all, have a happy new year. Feel free to fuck. Get your damn game on. Aw, yeah. Nobody's safe.